Yes, you guys, how you all doing today? We've got four big stories to break down this afternoon. I'm going to be talking about Tomori and a potential loan move to AC Milan. Hear my thoughts on Hudson Odoi after his recent interview detailing how his season is progressing so far. I'm going to be talking about our next opponents of the FA Cup. And of course, you guys stay right to the end because I'm going to be talking about a very exciting Turkish striker the club are looking to buy this January. So we've got some big news to break down. Without wasting any more time, let's get straight into the first story today. Now, to get this story out of the way first, I want to break down our next opponents in the FA Cup. In the fourth round, we are going to be playing against Luton Town, who are currently 14th in the championship table, and the winners of this game will play a game between the winners between Barnsley and Norwich City. Now, on paper, these are easy games and you're expecting us to win and hopefully progress straight to the quarterfinals, but the FA Cup has historically been known in this country as a competition known for upsets. And you guys, let's cast our minds back to the 14-15 season where we lost 4-2 against Bradford City. They absolutely outplayed us, and that is a constant reminder to always respect the opposition, because for the lower teams, this is a massive opportunity to play out of their skins and test themselves against the big boys. I love how this club constantly respects its tournament, and let's hope we get straight to the quarterfinals, you guys, because the FA Cup is a big opportunity to get our first silverware under Frank Lampard. Now, we move on to one of the big stories that came out late last night, and that's Tomori and a potential loan move to AC Milan. These reports first came from Fabrizio Romano, and he states that AC Milan are seeing Tomori as an alternative to signing Simakan, and it seems like AC Milan are interested in signing Tomori on an 18-month loan. I mean, this is big news, and as I've been telling you guys, and as what the reports have been saying too, Tomori is a man in demand. He's had a ton of interest from clubs all across Europe, from Ligue 1, from the Bundesliga, and with this recent AC Milan news, Tomori's clout is at an all-time high. Now, it's quite obvious that Tomori is just not interested in moving to any mid-table Prem team. He's thinking about the bigger picture. He wants to become a better player. He wants to remain competing at the highest level, and the fact he got pitiful minutes against Morecambe, I think that effectively told all of us that Tomori is most likely, strongly likely, most definitely leaving in this January window. It's understandable that some fans will be upset because Tomori has high potential, but I think the reality is, looking at the market and considering that it's going to be much harder to sell your Rudigers and other defenders, it does make sense that Tomori is going to be that sacrifice in a way. However, now I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions, and straight off the bat, I think it's so obvious why Tomori is down to sign for AC Milan. If you're a young defender, moving to Serie A is like the school for defenders. Tomori, even though he's technically excellent, great 1v1 and has great defensive skills, he needs more experience when it comes to the finer details, for example, concentration, positioning, etc, etc. And to master those aspects of his game, moving to Serie A is probably the best thing to do. Like, immediately, I can imagine that partnership between Romagnoli and Tomori. Considering Theo Hernandez and Calabria making that back 4-2. There's a reason why AC Milan are currently leading Serie A. They've only lost one game this season, and with Tomori being 23 years old, not getting many minutes over the past 2 seasons, this is a massive opportunity to not only learn, but to be competing at the highest level. And I think with AC Milan right now, their rebuilding job, the fact they have a balanced team, something I haven't seen from these guys for nearly this entire decade, now is probably the perfect time to sign for a club like this, considering the potential they have, how they're only going to get better. And personally, I like that Tomori is willing to go to Italy, learn a new culture, get involved. I'm sure he's spoken to his guys in Ole Einar, who's probably given him some, tips and tricks behind how he found life in Italy. And to be honest, I really see no losers if Tomori goes on loan to AC Milan. AC Milan win, Tomori wins, and most importantly, we win too, because if this 18-month deal goes through, Tomori is still on the club's books, and who knows what's going to happen within those 18 months for a player that has very high potential. So I'm all here for it, you guys. Give your thoughts and opinions below. How do you feel about this news? And now, let's turn our attention to Callum Hudson Odoi and his recent interview with the official club website. Now, recently, Hudson Odoi has been doing a lot of media work for a very good reason. This season, he's showing that every single game, he's getting better. And recently, he scored twice in consecutive games against Man City and against Morecambe. As Callum stated, he wants to play in every game, And as he plays those games, he challenges himself to be even better than the previous game. Hudson spoke about how he carries this mentality with him during training and in games as well, where he wants to put in 110% effort into every single thing. Now, 110% effort, that is something we constantly hear throughout this club over the years. Back in the day under your Drogba's, Terry Lampards, that was one of the philosophies back then. And it's no surprise why the new gen of Chelsea stars are following in that same molds. Callum did reveal that this season he has not been upset by anything. Could this be evidence that Lampard doesn't have any issues with Hudson Odoi? He doesn't believe in favouritism, and maybe in fact he is challenging the player to become the very best he can be? For me, in my opinion, I think so. And as Callum said, he is not upset by anything. He has the right mentality and focus. And he further explains the way you train affects how you play. And is this not something that Lampard has said throughout his entire career in football? And it's quite interesting because when Lampard was a player, this was a philosophy that he himself believed in, and look what he became. You'd have to say that Hudson Odoi's potential and ability at the same age as Lampard is on a different level, so imagine how far he can go with this new competitive mentality. I'm going to give some quick thoughts and opinions, you guys. When it comes to coaching players, every player has their own personal personality, and it's up to the coach to get the very best out of an individual. Hudson Odoi's been an absolute star boy at this club for years and years, but last season, I really feel like he got a glimpse behind how things can turn sour if you don't apply yourself consistently. Now, last season, not only was he getting criticism and abuse from the fan base, who was still hurt by his negotiations with the contract, even though that's down to his brother and team, and being upset by the links to Bayern Munich, even though Bayern are the best team in the world. Reality hit even harder after those terrible fake allegations that really added to the pressure that Hudson Odoi was under last season, considering that he got COVID too, he was picking up niggling injuries. This was a very difficult spell for him, but absolute credit goes to Callum for being resolute, for being mentally strong to move past all of that, from all the BS that people were putting on him. It feels like this period has been one of reflection for him. He's become stronger for this, and now his focus on football is absolutely undefeated. When you've got a player that has world-class potential, you don't patronize him. You actually got even harder on him, because to play at that level at the very top, you're facing those pressures every single day. And to be able to hack that, you need to learn how to cope from a very young age. Callum's finally seen the light. He's seen the ingredients for success. He's following in his footsteps. His actions match his words. And to be honest, we're only going to benefit from the next few years, and my god, it's going to be exciting watching Hudson Odoi develop at this club. And now, we end things with the final story for today. I'm going to be talking about a young Turkish striker, 18 years old. He's known as Ali Akman. He made his first debut as a 16-year-old for Bursaspor, and currently he has 9 goals in 16 league games playing in the 2nd division in Turkey. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, 2nd division Turkey, Nini, what is the story? What's even happening? Well, Akman is a player in demand from a ton of clubs from across Europe, and for very good reason. Before I explain those reasons though, currently us and Arsenal are monitoring the situation, and the reason behind why Akman is so tantalizing to sign right now is because he's refused to sign a new contract extension, meaning that in 6 months his deal expires and he can go for a free. Clubs will never let the assets leave on a free, so it seems like he will be leaving this window, and it's only going to cost 3 million to sign him. Now I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions, and considering our interest in Caicedo, 4.5 million, it seems like he's going to Brighton. It really feels like the club are looking to sign some cheap, exciting talent, and of course put them in the loan army where, when so many clubs have interest in him, we could find the best club for Akman very easily. Now Akman is 5'6", but don't let the height deceive you, because he's stocky and he doesn't let his height affect him. I mean, he plays with that aggression and tenacity. He's very good in the air, surprisingly. And of course, you guys, I want to let you know, a lot of this comes from doing research and studying about the player, because I don't know about every single player across the world. I just want to disclose that fact to you. But I want to give you guys an indication behind how he plays and why we're interested in him. Now, I think one of the most important qualities behind why clubs like us are looking at him is because he presses and leads from the front. And considering the importance behind counter-pressing systems in modern games today, the pressing starts from the front, and strikers have to be excellent for the big teams at doing this. He's very fast, his movement in behind is very good. He can score with his left foot, right foot, and with his head as well. He clearly has the potential. And let's see what happens with this story as things develop. But anyway, you guys, on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. Thank you for watching. There is going to be a talking points video later out today, so stay tuned. I'm the EFC. This is Blue Lines TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.